Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast reviews Lucha Underground. This week we are reviewing Season 2, Episode 23, titled The Phoenix, the Dragon and the Spaceman. My name is Turbo Tony. I am the host of this Lucha review, ever so slowly getting towards the end of this season. It's been a long road, but I've been enjoying a lot of it. I'm sure most of you have been as well. And of course, let's get those plugs out of the way, then we can get straight to the review of this week's episode. Of course, if you'd like to interact with us, the main way of doing so is our Facebook page, facebook.com/Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast. You can send us a tweet on our Twitter handle, @TalkWrestlePod, or you can send us any private emails or audio questions to Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast @gmail.com. All of that great stuff is in the description below. And if you'd like to leave any questions, you can do so in the comments section or any feedback as well. So, without further ado, no procrastination on this video. As always, we get straight to the point. And of course, straight off the bat, Matt Striker tells us right from the beginning that Drago, Phoenix, and Aerostar will face the Trios champions at Ultima Lucha 2. So, not much of a, I guess it's somewhat of a build-up. You had, Drago and Aerostar. They've had their problems with Evans and PJ Black, and of course Phoenix was taken out by Mundo. So there is a link there. So that's okay with me, and it's a way of getting these guys into a match at Ultima Lucha, and yeah, no problem with that. Sounds good to me. Now we start straight off this week. Mil Muertes, who has now undergone a little bit of a change, right? He's got the stitched up mask, he's got the blood red eyes, a lot more angry as he used to be. Well, he was still an angry guy beforehand, but you get my drift. He's now even more pissed off, right? He's going against King Cuerno here, and literally I was wondering, I was like, okay. I thought they would be building this up for an Ultima Lucha match. Later on in the show, we would find out what their eventual plan is there. But no character in Lucha Underground so far has had such an eventful, maybe that's not the best word for it, but eventful season as Mil Muertes. Maybe explaining it better is his character arc, is basically what I'm getting at here. His character arc has been nothing short of dramatic, right? Started off the season in control, in charge, champion, and you look to where he is now. A lot of stuff has happened for Mil Muertes over the case of this season. Now, as I said there, my initial thought was, okay, I thought they were holding us off at Ultima Lucha 2, but of course, as the ending of this match happens, you can kind of see where they're going with it. King Cuerno hits Mil over the head with a steel chair. The way that Mil looked at him afterwards was nothing short of a death stare. And that is a little bit of a pun, considering he is the man of 1,000 deaths. So, yeah, I have to give you some props for that. Not really. That was awful. But he only gets, he doesn't exactly get too far with that. Mil brings the pain to Cuerno, but they set up a chair in the turnbuckle, and Mil dodges out of the way. And, King Cuerno dodges out of the way. Mil goes headfirst into the chair, the roll up. King Cuerno gets a shock victory over Mil Muertes. The first time that Mil's been back for a while, he's beaten straight away. So a shock victory here. And this finish was done to set up the later match on the show, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it did initially get me a bit worried because, for a long time, Mil had been so unstoppable. Like, beating him had seemed such a far-fetched thing, almost like what Matanz is like now. And it seemed like once one person had got the victory over him, it almost like a tidal wave happened. A lot of people suddenly were starting to get the better of Mil. So that is a little bit worrying there on that front, but still. Dario Cueto is speaking to Ivelisse and Taya in his office. It's soon clear that there isn't room for both women's egos in the temple. One of them is going to have to beat the other bitch up, essentially, which is what they're getting over here. Dario says, well, you're going to face each other, and that will find out who really is the baddest bitch in the building. And they both seem quite happy with the prospect of kicking the shit out of each other. And you know what? I am as well. There's something quite nice about looking at two, strong women, Ivelisse and Taya, good-looking women, just kick the shit out of each other. It's good quality entertainment. Katrina comes in Of course, she has a little standoff between herself and Evilise. We all know the history between those two characters. Like I said, I would not be shocked. I think I heard in an interview that Katrina isn't exactly against the idea of having a match down the line. It's just not really her specialty, right? However, she demands a rematch with King Cuerno for her guy Mil Muertes. And Dario starts laughing. He's like, it's quite funny that you come in here demanding stuff after you and Mil attacked his poor baby brother and tried to take over his temple. And I'm like, calling Matanza his little baby, his poor little innocent baby brother. That's just awesome right there. I love that. There's something about how heels can be so disingenuous and have like, not even so much disingenuous, it's like their mental perception is so skewed. It's beautiful. It really is. It's like when Kevin Owens in WWE keeps referring to himself as the victim, right? He's the victim in all of this. It's brilliant. I love it. Katrina instead says, well, I don't want a regular match. I want a death match. You know, King Cuerno will not leave Ultima Lucha alive. And, you know, he desperately is seeking to own death, and let's give it to him. Let's see if he can take it. Dario likes what he hears, and he grants the match, and then Katrina undertakers out of the office. Teleportation is one of her skills. So, yep, that match is set up. And, of course, that makes that finish in the earlier match, you know, a little bit easier to swallow on that front. It just seems like Mil is a lot more easily beaten nowadays. And I'm not a big fan of that. As you guys know, big Mil Muertes fan here. Big fan. But still, we'll see where it goes. I expect him to destroy King Cuerno for what it's worth. Prince Puma versus Dragon Azteca Jr. Mysterio is at Azteca's side. This is like a tune-up match for Puma and a chance of proving himself for Azteca Jr. And I was quite interested just off the bat of looking at this match because, I mean, you guys have known that I've been quite impressed by some of the young guys in Lucha Underground. Probably Daga and Azteca Jr. have been the two that I've been most impressed with. I think Azteca Jr.'s got some great athleticism. And when you talk about athleticism and in-ring prowess, right, and high-flying ability, you're looking at two of these guys right here, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, this could be something quite fun, right? And the opening exchange confirmed my expectations straight off. It's extremely fast-paced, crisp, professional lucha libre wrestling. That's basically the best way to explain it. Now, if you're one of those people who didn't enjoy the Will Ospreay versus Ricochet match that got the rounds in Japan, then you probably won't like this, right? It's the sort of wrestling that you aren't going to enjoy that much. That being said, for everyone else, including myself, we're going to eat this match up like a well-cooked steak. There's no other way to go about it. This was tasty shit right here. This was good stuff. Dragon Azteca's DDTJ, as it's being called, that has got to be, in my opinion, one of the sexiest moves in wrestling at the moment. It is so fluid, so beautiful. It really is. Considering the degree of difficulty and how easily that move could be fucked up, it makes it even more impressive when he pulls it off with, like I said, it makes it shit look easy. That's what's so impressive about that move. And when you've got a guy like Puma in the ring who can sell it like he's been planted in the ground like a fucking tree, all the more better. All the more better. That's fantastic stuff. It's beautiful. Puma kicks out of that, though, and the pair look like they drive each other into the ground from the top rope. Puma gets a close call. However, he does hit the 630. He gets the hard-fought victory. Great match. Very fun. Very much enjoyed it. And I've heard rumours, apparently, that Ricochet is going to be looking up to finish up his obligations to Lucha Underground. I know they finished filming Season 3 already, but that needs to air before he has the right to go on to another televised wrestling show. So I'm going to enjoy Prince Puma while it lasts, because it looks like we may only get one more season with the guy, and then it looks like that may be the end of him. But you're looking at a real world-class talent in Ricochet and Prince Puma. There's no other way to go about it. He just is that good. After the match, Ray and Puma square off. I'm looking forward to seeing that match. That should be a lot of fun. I tell you what would be a marker, though. I thought this match was good enough that if Mysterio and Puma don't bring out Ultima Lucha, and I do expect that they will, but if they don't, well, that's a little bit of a marker for Dragon Azteca Jr. to put down, right? So, good stuff there. You got Tejano, the Mac, Cage, and Son of Havoc in the ring. Looks like they're going to have a random four-way match, but Dario Cueto comes out. He looks like he's more excited for Ultima Lucha Dos than the prospect of a night with Margot Robbie. Now, sorry, I love Lucha Underground, guys, but you always pick Margot in that sense. That woman, sublime right there. Sublime. People think I have a thing for blondes on this podcast. I really don't. Just, takes an exceptional kind of woman. That's all I have to say. He says he has plans for all of the men in the ring. He says that all of them will take part in what he calls the very first unique opportunity tournament, even though it's just a match, it's not really a tournament. And that's going to happen at Ultima Lucha Dos. It will be the biggest unique opportunity of all time. That's what he's saying here. So I half expect that whoever wins this match is going to get fucked over by Dario Cueto. These unique opportunities can be good. You can get title shots. You can get chances at revenge. Every so often, your unique opportunity will equate to the match equivalent of shit in a bag. So Dario Cueto as a booker, you've got to take the risks with him because you never quite know when his gifts will be, laced with salt. Maybe is a good way of putting it. But they end up fighting after this. Of course, all the guys trying to soften each other up before Ultima Lucha Dos. This match is going to be one of the ones that I expect will happen on the 1 hour episode next week before you get the 2 hour one the week after. That's what I expect because it's one that has literally had no build up. It was only announced here. As for four guys that really just the storylines just didn't match up for them, so they didn't have anything to do. So I expect it to be fun, but maybe it's a little bit of a shame that guys like Cage and the Mac and Tejano, for how big he is in Mexico, didn't have a more of a high-profile match. I mean, Tejano must be looking at himself. Last year, he went against Blue Demon Jr., and that match just stank up the joint. And then this time around, he's kind of an afterthought. Bit of a shame for the guy, but still. Matt Striker breaks down the lineup for Ultima Lucha Dos. It's a good lineup. Some good matches there. I'm very interested to see the climax of this year's season and see how it all pans out. Of course, I think the two biggest matches are the title match and Puma and Mysterio. So I'm sure that both of them will happen on the final event. If I had to guess anything, probably Evilise and Taya will be on next week. This unique opportunities match will probably happen next week, and they'll probably fit in another match into that slot, one of the less pivotal matches. So the main event then, Phoenix versus Johnny Mundo, a precursor to the Trios Championship match at Ultima Lucha. And sometimes it's quite easy to overlook the sheer quality of Mundo's in-ring work. I wasn't the biggest fan of his in WWE, but whether or not it's the edgier content or maybe him growing and coming of age and maturing his, maybe it's just him being allowed to do heel in a way that's more comfortable to him, right? Sometimes WWE can get, over script you, and that definitely seemed the point because his promos in in Lucha Underground seem okay, seem fine, but when he was in WWE, they were god awful. I can't even remember a single decent John Morrison promo that I actually enjoyed, but Johnny Mundo as a character, he's a much more enjoyable commodity here on this show. So, still, good stuff there. Good match here. Both guys showing off their athleticism and their high-flying move sets. Maybe not as much as Prince Puma and Azteca Jr. I thought that was a better match. But these guys definitely made good account of themselves here. If anything, maybe I would have gone with Puma and Azteca Jr. being the main event because I did think that was a better match. But still, it's you can't really go wrong. There was a moment here where Phoenix got kicked in the head and while on the turnbuckle, he sold it by flipping backwards and landing on his feet. Part of me is like, that's kind of awesome. Part of me is like, that's a little bit too much. A little bit. Maybe with a kick in the head, you don't flip over and land, you just flop to the ground. I think that would be a lot more dramatic, but it's nitpicky. Mundo hits Phoenix with the Trios Championships when Taya gives the distraction. That, of course, gives him the victory. Could say his team gets first blood heading into the Trios Championship match. Just keep trying to say Trios Tournament. Evans and Black come down afterwards. They get in on the celebrations and, of course, get in on the beating of Phoenix. Drago and Aerostar come in. Evil East comes in as well to take the fight to Taya. And all the faces throw all the champions and Taya out of the ring. And that's how they end the show, with all of them standing tall. That's the last thing we will see before Ultima Lucha comes around. And we'll get that hour special. I'm not entirely sure. I know one of our fans left a comment saying that they were doing it in a different format. If they are, that's fine. I'll cover it when it gets to that point. But still, you know, it's one of those things where I've lost my train of thought here. I just completely got a message on my Facebook. It's completely ruined my train of thought. You can blame Matt for that. Matt is the one that's messaging me. The makeup of the show. So I don't know how the hours are going to do it. I'd actually expect it to be the hour than the 2 hours. But if it isn't, I'll just cover it as it comes, guys. It's fine. But I thought this show was a good teaser and a build-up for Ultima Lucha Dos. It makes this episode easily worth a watch. Easily, in my opinion. You've got 2 decent matches there. The Mil Muertes, King Cuerno, you take it as it is. It sets up that match later on. And you've got Dario Cueto doing his best to promote the show, which is always fun. So it's a thumbs up for me. Worth a watch, definitely. And excited for Ultima Lucha. I think it's going to be a good event. I think you've got plenty of opportunities here for guys to really make a statement, and hopefully they can have just as an exciting and decent end to this season as they did last season. That's the hope there. Alright then, guys, I hope you did enjoy this review. If you did, leave a like. You can also subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can also look at our videos on the weekend, our main episodic podcast with the news, review Raw. When the brand split happens, we'll be reviewing some of SmackDown as well. So all that good stuff there as well. And obviously your fan feedback, trivia, all sorts of great stuff. Good stuff there. I hope you guys have a great week. Until next time, I'll catch you soon. Have a great time. Thanks a lot now, and bye-bye.